let's take a quick photo so we can keep the pressure up so other colleagues can come out here. Yeah? Great.
Is this your New York crew?
No, this is everybody, all right? Oh, Corey had to run to a, should have run to a hit. She's going okay, scared.
I see you. Oh, no, you're fine.
Housing is a human right on three. 1, 2, 3. Housing is a human right!
Woo! Thanks, guys. Everybody say whiskey!
Whiskey!
All right, guys. So that is AOC, basically busted doing a photo op with her mask on, and then subsequently taking it off after the photo was done. Now, before I get into this video, I gotta give a disclaimer, like I do in every single video in which I am talking about the virus, the pandemic, mask, anything like that. I am not making any claims about the virus, the pandemic, or the mask, right? If you have any questions about the virus, the pandemic, or the mask, please consult your medical professional, okay? Consult your doctor. I am not making any claims about anything whatsoever. This is purely about public policy, okay? So, like I said, as you can see, that's AOC basically doing a photo op. And the other senator that was there was Ed Markey, right? And Ed Markey, he was just more egregious, right? Like AOC at least had the awareness to wait a little bit, right, before she took off her mask. Okay, he just pulled it down. He was like, whatever, I'm pulling it down after. And guys, let me be blunt real quick about masks, right? I hate the politicization of masks. I honestly think it's really one of the most annoying and dumbest things about today's politics, right? Because I'm not pro or anti-mask. I'm just pro freedom. I'm pro do what you want, right? That's what I'm pro. I'm pro freedom, right? But we've gotten so politicized over masks, and I think part of the reason why is stuff like this coming from the Democrats, because you have these same Democrats out here pushing mandates and making people do things they don't necessarily feel comfortable doing, but they're not doing it themselves, right? They're not following their own rules, right? And while they're not following their own rules, they're acting like they're holier than thou. They're holier than everybody else, okay? And AOC is the same person that criticized the Republicans back in December and said, well, they're the reason that we have a shutdown because they're not wearing masks, right? The irresponsible GOP is the reason why we have shutdowns. That's what AOC said. Okay, so you're criticizing Republicans for that, and now look what you're doing, right? And you're aware of what you're doing because you weren't wearing it before the photo, and then you put it on for the photo, and then you took it off after the photo, right? And again, this is after she said that, plus she talked about, how, she's going to keep wearing the mask, blah, blah, blah. It's a part of her way of life, and she wants to keep people safe, all this and that, okay? And, like I said, that's fine. That's her freedom. But again, my issue is when you're being fake about it, and then you're criticizing other people for what they do. That's what really bothers me about this. That's what really bothers me about this. And AOC is, again, just another example of a hypocritical Democrat, right, when it comes to this issue. If you want to talk big game about how important it is that the elites and the politicians set good examples for the American people and then want to criticize others, then you better be living up to the example that you claim that you're trying to set, right? You better be doing it in your own life, okay? You better be doing it in your own life, because if you're not doing it in your own life, then that's going to open you up to criticism. It's going to open you up and show that you're just a fake politician. But I'm not surprised because most of these politicians are actors anyways. Also, by the way, I want to mention this. housing is not a human right, okay? The progressives love trying to say that anything that they want, that they think they should get from the government, right, that they think they're entitled to, is a right. Housing is not a human right. Healthcare is not a human right. These are modern day social constructions, okay? They're modern day constructions, right? Since progressives love talking about social construction so much, right? The idea that everybody deserves a roof over their head, even if they don't work, even if they don't earn it, even if they don't have to pay for it, right? It's ridiculous. It goes against the idea of property rights, right? Because that's essentially what they're fighting against. That whole thing that they did, I mean, I guess it was a photo op, right? The whole, the eviction moratorium thing, I guess it was a photo op, but I mean, it actually got Biden to do something, so maybe it wasn't. But regardless, yeah, I mean, these people really kill me with this, oh, this is a right, that's a right, we deserve this from the government, we deserve that from the government. But I digress. That's a whole nother video for another day. But like I said, my point is that these politicians are fake. They're phonies. And when they get called out on it, it's actually hilarious to see them squirm and to try to explain themselves. As Obama, right, he got called out because he decided that he wanted to have a birthday bash for his 60th birthday in which he was going to invite 700 plus people to their party, right? Or put it this way, 700 some people would have been there amid, new restrictions and things like that that have been put into place. He decided, I'm going to have a birthday party. So what happens is that rightfully so, the media and the right-wing media gives him a ton of backlash. Again, not because people don't believe in freedom, it's the hypocrisy of it. It's like, okay, how can you do this, but yet tell other people that they can't? And the way that they try to explain it away is they say, well, we're going to have testing. We're going to require people's vaccination status. We're going to go by the CDC guidelines. We're going to, be very, very careful about it. And my thing is this, right? My thing is this. Who can afford to do that? You're still exercising your elitist privilege because you can only do this, right? Let's say they do have the birthday bash and it's following all the guidelines. It's quote unquote safe, right? Let's say it's safe. Who else can afford to do this? You only can do this because you're rich. That's the only reason you can do it, right? Even if you're following the guidelines. Us peasants, right? We can't do that. We can't have a birthday bash with 700 plus people because we can't afford to have testing on site and to be collecting information and doing all that stuff. We can't afford that. So again, my thing is that when these politicians are implementing these new restrictions in the name of public safety, hey, listen, at the very least, you should be expected to follow your own rules. At the very least, you should be expected to set a good example. Because you got on Trump all last year for quote unquote not setting a good example. That was the main thing about Trump. Well, Trump's not setting a good example. Democrats, on the other hand, they don't believe they have to set a good example. They don't have to follow their own rules. They can do what they want because they're elitist. At least Trump didn't act so elitist that he will openly not follow his own rules, right? You know what I'm saying? Again, you can criticize Trump for not setting a good example, blah, 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 whatever, right? You can say what you want, but you can't say that he was a hypocrite about it. That's what you can't say. But it seems like you can say that about Obama, right? Who now is, scaled back his party after backlash, right? If he would have got no backlash, he would have went ahead and had it, right? He would have had it. Then they're talking about, oh, they're concerned, blah, blah, blah. No, you was never concerned. You was never concerned. The only thing you got concerned about was the fact that you got caught and you got called out. And AOC, obviously, her whole thing is about making a statement. Because, again, if you're not doing it, why do you feel the need to take a picture with one on? For what? It just means that, again, you're trying to make a statement. That you're being fake about it. You're not being genuine about what you're doing. And in my opinion, that's actually making it harder for people to take these politicians serious when it comes to these rules and these restrictions. Because it's obviously that you don't even believe in your own rules and restrictions. So it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.